Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Welcome to our presentation on the state-of-the-art development of Geiger Müller counters for PHY 380. In this video, we'll explore how this classic radiation detector has advanced over time, from its invention in the early 20th century to its modern applications in science, medicine, and safety. Okay, before we begin, let me introduce our team members. First, hi everyone. I'm Dayana, and I am joined by ANISHA, BATRISYIA, and WAJIHUDDIN. Together, the four of us will be presenting on the state-of-the-art development of Geiger Müller counters. In the world of radiation detection, few instruments have made as lasting as impact as the Geiger Müller counter, or in its short name, GM counter. Invented in 1928 by German physicist Hans Geiger and his student Walter Müller, this device became a cornerstone in the field of nuclear science. It uses a gas-filled tube that produces an electrical pulse every time a charged particle passes through it. A simple yet brilliant solution for detecting ionizing radiation. Before the invention of the GM counter, radiation detection methods were much less efficient. They were often large, limited to detecting specific types of radiation, and difficult to operate. The Geiger Müller tube was a breakthrough in terms of sensitivity, reliability, and ease of use. It laid the foundation of how radiation would be measured for decades to come. The Geiger Müller counter marked a turning point in radiation detection technology by allowing the detection of alpha, beta, and gamma radiation in a single, compact device. It simplified and standardized how ionizing radiation is measured. Its straightforward design made it cost-effective and highly portable, which meant it could be used beyond just research laboratories. This accessibility helped shape entire fields such as health physics and nuclear safety by making radiation monitoring more practical and widespread. Even after nearly a century, its reliability, ease of use, and ability to adapt to new technologies have ensured its continued relevance in radiation detection today.
Now let's move on to our explanation of the art development Geiger Müller counters. Over the decades, the Geiger Müller counter has evolved far beyond its original form. Thanks to modern advancements in microelectronics and battery technology, today's GM's counter are significantly smaller, lighter, and more portable than ever before. These devices now come in a wide variety of design, from compact handheld models to rugged industrial-grade units, each tailored to meet specific operational needs. Many feature digital displays that show real-time radiation levels, while others include data logging systems that can store long-term exposure readings. Wireless connectivity such as Bluetooth and Wi-Fi has also been introduced, allowing data to be transferred instantly to smartphones or cloud platforms. These upgrades make radiation monitoring more accessible, efficient, and adaptable to modern workflows. Now let's move on to other explanation state-of-the-art development Geiger Müller counters. Beyond design and connectivity, the core detection components of GM counters have also improved significantly. Modern detectors tubes now offer longer operational lifespans, lower background counts, and specialist configurations like pancake tubes that provide a broader detection surface. To ensure greater measurement accuracy, many models include energy compensation filters and better shielding. Some advanced versions even combine GM tubes with other sensors such as scintillators or semiconductors, enabling them to differentiate between alpha, beta, and gamma radiation more effectively. with added features like audible and visual alarms, user calibration and weather-resistant casing. These devices are designed to meet the demands of various professional environments, from hospitals and research labs to emergency response zones.
Hello, so for my part, I will be explaining about the detailed exploration of Geiger-Müller counters and the example of real-world implementation. So for the detailed exploration, we have three topics in this part, which is the principle of Geiger counter and how does it work, and the types of Geiger counter. Principle of Geiger counter. The Geiger-Müller tube, which is the sensing component that detects the radiation and the processing and output electronics, would be found in the Geiger counter. A gas such as argon, neon, or helium is pumped into the Geiger-Müller tube at the lowest pressure possible while a high voltage is applied. When a particle or photon of incident radiation changes the gas conductive through ionization, there would be the conduction of the electrical charge on the tube. So, how does it work? In this part, I will be explaining about the general idea of how will a Geiger-Müller counter works. The first thing first, the tube is filled with argon gas, and the tiny wire in the center receives a voltage of approximately 400 volts. A high energy particle coming via the mica window will ionize one or more argon atoms. In a cascade effect, the argon electrons and ions will force more argon atoms to ionize. When a particle enters the tube, one electron from an argon atom is removed. This single event creates a large electrical discharge which causes a current pulse. As the electron accelerates towards the central wire, it will knock additional electrons off argon atoms, which resulting in a cascade. The current flowing through resistance generates a voltage spike of the magnitude of 10 volts. After that, an electron pulse amplifier receives low voltage pulse and amplifies them to 5 until 50 volts. The amplified output is transferred to a counter, and then the number of incoming atoms may be counted since each arriving particle will generate a pulse. As a result, a single incoming particle causes several electrons to arrive at the wire, which then will produce a pulse that may be amplified and quantized. In the end, we have a highly sensitive detector. So that is all for the general idea of how will a Geiger-Müller counter works. So for the next part, I will be explaining about the types of Geiger counter. Well, as you can see, there is two types of Geiger counter, which is end window and windowless. So you might be wondering, what is the differences between these two types of Geiger counter? So for the end window, one end of the tube will have a small window attached to it. The ionization of fast-moving particles such as alpha particles may benefit from this window. For alpha particles and low-energy beta particles, the GM tube's end window form must be used because of the particles' limited range. The solid substance will easily stop them, and in order to let as many of these particles through, this tube needs a window that is small enough. Typically, mica with a density of 1.5 to 2.0 is used to make the window. And then for the windowless, this sort of tube has no windows at all and a thickness of 1 until 2 millimeters. This tube will detect high penetrating radiation like beta particles. Windowless GM tubes with thin walls can also be used to detect some beta particles. It will permit the passage of high energy beta particles, and in addition to allowing various kinds of radiation to enter the field gas, the tube walls have a greater stopping power than a small end window. So that is all for the types of Geiger counter. So for the next part is the examples of real-world implementation. Well, there are a lot of examples of the use of Geiger-Müller counter throughout the world. Some of them are to identify radioactive rocks and minerals when exploring for minerals. The second example is for firefighters to do an initial assessment of radiation exposure. The third example is to examine food for radioactive contaminations. And last but not least, the detection at the border or secured facilities, which they will be using a machine called Radiation Portal Machine RPM.
Alright, right now we are moving to the potential benefits of Geiger-Müller counter. The first one is the Geiger-Müller counter has an inexpensive price out of all the survey instruments. Why? This is because the Geiger-Müller counter offers a cost-effective solution for routine safety monitoring, as it requires no complex electronics or expensive materials within the tube itself. And the second one, researchers found this Geiger-Müller counter is very simple and easy to use for radiation detectors. This can be proven because the scientists has been using it in the nuclear industry for many years. And fun fact, the Geiger-Müller counter actually requires minimal training to operate, making it highly user-friendly. With a simple point and read design, even individuals without a technical background can quickly learn to using it for detecting radiation. This ease of use is especially valuable in emergency situations, educational settings, and routine safety checks, where quick and reliable readings are essential without the need for specialized knowledge. Although we found the potential benefits in using the Geiger-Müller counter, there must be the challenges behind it. The first one, when it comes to identifying the radiation type, this counter cannot distinguish between alpha, beta, and gamma radiation without additional shielding or filters. To make it worse, this limits their usefulness when identifying specific sources or types of radiation is required. And the second one is the energy response in using Geiger-Müller counter. It tends to over-respond to low energy radiation, which can lead to significant discrepancies in dose rate measurements, even when the radiation intensity remains the same. All in all, that is how the problems can affect the usage of Geiger-Müller counter. Alright, after we were listening to the potential challenges in Geiger-Müller counter, we can see the artificial neural networks can help the Geiger-Müller counter in radiation detection. That's how we call the future development in using this counter. So, while artificial neural networks (ANNs) offer advanced capabilities for analyzing radiation data, they can introduce significant uncertainties in their response at high counting rates. This is primarily due to the nonlinear and complex behavior of radiation interactions, which can challenge the NN predictive accuracy under intense radiation fields. As a result, observed counting rates may deviate from actual values, necessitating correction algorithms or calibration techniques to compensate for these discrepancies. Ensuring reliable performance under varying radiation intensity requires careful training of the neural networks model, robust data pre-processing, and continuous validations against known standards.
The second future developments and innovation is where they can extract the benefits of Geiger-Müller counter to be digital GM counter, where it can precisely measure the time interval between pulses, yet enabling accurate determination of count rate. And this capability is especially valuable in various fields, such as food safety, where they can verify food irradiation process are within limits, and the homeland security, where it can detect radioactive materials at borders and in public spaces in today's world.
As we know, the Geiger-Müller counter is the technology that can detect the radiation, and a lot of researchers, for example, the technical and physical problems of engineering, found many ways to interpret the benefits of Geiger-Müller counter to the implementations of innovations, such as they create a robust robot strategy for reasonably difficult terrain that can discern between an impediment and the radiative source. But how does it work? Well, this mobile robot can send a message indicating the value of the doses rate, where it can classify detected objects as either physical impediments or potential radiation sources based on radiation intensity and consistency, also permissivity and material density. So let's move on to our last point is our conclusion. In conclusion, the state-of-the-art development of Geiger-Müller counter has transformed them into highly advanced, efficient, and user-friendly radiation detection tools. Through innovations in digital technology, detectors design, and portably modern GM counters offer greater accuracy, sensitivity, and reliability than ever before. Features such as real-time digital display, wireless data transmission, enhanced tube matrix, and multi-radiation industrial, environmental, and emergency response fields too. These advancements ensure that GM counters remain a vital instrument in modern radiation monitoring, meeting the increasing demands for safety, precision, and ease of use in today's world. That's all from us. And lastly, we have reference. These all the reference that we have used for our case study. Thank you. Bye.